And welcome back, everybody, as we see the goodbye here of Viking. The road stops here for them, but it continues for Pain Gaming, who we will see tomorrow fighting for that last one.
VCS is going to be fine. They already got their team through yesterday.
I think
Sets
this
up an
is fair.
amazing story tomorrow. I feel bad for those 5 players, but for the rest of the tournament, I feel good.
I mean, it's great to see Pain Gaming as well being able to get into a spot where, you know, they haven't been at an international for so long, and the fact that it's already going so well for them, even in their first loss, it makes you have high spirits for them and hopes going forward in the tournament.
And hope is what we want, especially for the remainder of the day here. If you're a Western fan and an LCS fan, of course, so let's hear from Sniper about his World debut.
Hi, my name is Sniper. I'm the top laner for 100 Thieves, and this is my first time playing in Worlds. I'm just super grateful to be here. Everyone around me has been amazing, and scrimming against the best players in the world has also been a privilege. I definitely feel like I'm improving, and there's only going to be ups from here. My favorite Worlds moment definitely has to be when T1 won the Worlds in 2023. I feel like I was just in my room, just watching their games. Like, I was manifesting going to Worlds, and now that I'm here, it's just been, like, absolutely amazing. What do I want to say to the fans? Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sniper. It's unfortunate we lost our first match against R7, but hopefully you guys can keep supporting us. We made it to Worlds for a reason. We're a good team, so yeah, keep supporting us.
Lovely hearing more from Sniper, of course, who was putting a lot of pressure on himself, actually. We read an interview this morning from Chippy Sport with Armand. He was explaining how bad he felt, actually. A lot of strong words to describe his performance and, yeah, what is coming next. A lot of pressure on their side, it feels.
He always lives in the moment. That's one thing that I love about Sniper.
Yeah.
But sometimes that can come back to bite him a bit if he says a little bit too much.
Let's see what the fans think, actually, here in our MasterCard fan prediction. Are they scared? Do they have pressure, actually, thinking about 100 Thieves here? 51.4% of the fans think that 100 Thieves can take it. That's
close.
Okay.
Closer than I thought.
That's a lot closer than I thought.
Only 51%. Okay, I need to be careful with my words, knowing that it's not even 7 a.m. in the US yet, so I know most of the viewers are European. But okay.
What do we think about today, Jets? What is the
I have an analogy. Have you heard of Daniel Kahneman?
Well,
Absolutely not.
wasn't he that Nobel Prize winning psychologist, Jet?
Wait, what?
Yes.
God,
Thank you.
we're so smart.
Thank you,
God,
Goldberg.
yes.
He absolutely was.
Absolutely.
So, he talks about Daniel Kahneman, the Nobel Prize winning psychologist, talks
All right.
about the experience self and the remembering self. So the experiencing self lives in the moment and behaviorally responds to life as it comes. The remembering self, it's the part of us that looks back and reflects on what we've experienced. So, years NA has lost a game or more to minor regions. It actually happens every year. So experientially, it has happened every single year, but it feels really scary right now. But I will say, the years that NA's play-in team has failed to advance to the next stage has actually been 0. So everyone's making a big deal of this thing that happens literally every year.
Well,
Now, it will be a big deal if they lose again. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I am saying that 100 Thieves need to have that confidence that every team before them has made it through, not the fear that they'd be the first to lose.
I like it. I'm just going to leave it here. Thank you so much, Jad. Over to you, casters.
first time for everything.
Right? No.
They did fail to make it out of MSI this year from playing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you know, it is that world.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm just saying, you know. But now I do hope 100 Thieves have a good bounce back, because I think there was a lot of hate unjustly thrown towards a lot of the members. Like,
Yeah.
I think Sniper had a fantastic game on the Cassante. River was a beast. I think there is still a lot
Those did play well.
of solid takeaways
Agreed.
from that series. And coming up against HAWKS Gaming as well, like, this is a team that didn't have the best of performances either. So if there is any game for 100 Thieves to bounce back, this is it. But I do, on the opposite side, think the HAWKS need to find their footing. This was a team that played well around team fights, had great flanks, played well around macro. We got to see 0 of that in their last series. It didn't look like they showed up at all. So I want to get what made this team such a powerhouse in the LJL and the second seed for the PCS, like, see what that brought to the table.
I definitely don't want, you know, what we kind of considered of VKE before, right? VKE having, I guess, a poor showing. And it was sad because we saw the high highs of this team. We can say the same about SHG. For 100 Thieves, a lot of bouncing back required in that last series versus Rainbow Seven. That was an adventure, that series. It was crazy, and I'm wondering how this will go as we go into pick ban. SHG are on the blue side here, and the Ziggs ban, the K'Sante ban. I respect the K'Sante ban, considering we're just talking about Sniper and how much they prioritize this pick in early rotations too for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it just means Renekton potentially first pick here coming through for Sniper. And it does open up the Nebby to go towards something like the Gnar, because he ends up going back towards the Rumble pretty consistently, which I really haven't been convinced by Rumble and play-ins thus far. It doesn't feel like the same kind of powerhouse that you would have seen in the past. So I think a potential even for the counter for Evie could work pretty well. And Ashe could also be the first answer here for Marble if that's the direction you want to go.
Let's see, it was the first pick before. And it makes perfect sense, right?
Syndra open as well, though.
Syndra's also open. Really good point, actually. Ori's also open from last game. Aurora. We got a lot because there's been target bans here, like Sniper's Jax, that have filled the space instead. Aurora is the first pick. Yeah, big thumbs up. Okay. That could be going top. We saw Ki'Sa on it only the other day. It can also go mid. So this is a flex right now.
I feel like it's more of a mid champion though. Like, yes, I know Ebby has some crazy picks in his back pocket, like the Tryndamere and stuff, but I don't feel like it's a Ebby champion. I feel like it's more probably going towards Dasher, but Sniper covering his...
He hovers it every game. I don't know how serious he's about it.
Well, he does play it, and it's also a shout out to his brother, who's a big Riven player as well. So, but gonna go towards the Yone, get Quid, a decent matchup in the mid lane. But how do you try and round this out now with some sort of AP?
Yeah, AP, and also maybe jungle support here. Sejuani, something we've seen paired with this quite a lot. Sets up nicely. River's been great on the Jarvan too. You mentioned the Renekton before. Yeah, I really do hope we get to see his Riven in the tournament. Like, that's something I've been looking forward to. I know he hovers it every time, though, and I'm like, I know you play this. This is what makes it worse. But I'm just looking forward to the day, or maybe the game, that we get to see it out. Let's find out.
I mean, we still have some Riven players coming from the LPL as well.
True.
Get something, you know?
It's funny, because, you know, Frank Esports, who almost made it to Worlds, instead of SHG, you know, the top laner was also a Riven mate. Ijung was a Riven OTP, so... The shame, but regardless, at least we get to see some fun drafts from SHG. Now, in the meantime, we get the Poppy locked in. Most likely support we have, I'm pretty sure, only seen it support so far at Worlds. We haven't seen it towards top, towards jungle. But that's always a possibility to keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah, and I think it does work because Aurora essentially has this engage tool operating for you, so it does help things out quite substantially. And when it's just going to be Poppy and Ezreal, just try and play for those sides and make it... try and play for a bit of a more passive bot lane and just take it easy on yourself. Tomo going to go back towards the Kai'Sa, which has kind of been the old school counter that we saw creep up when Ezreal came in. Just the ability to chase him down when you have that level 6 and finish him off and assassinate was great. But I haven't seen a huge amount of that because so often we see these AD carries rotating into the mid lane. That shorter lane just makes it so much more difficult to try and chase down the Ezreal to finish off that kill.
I just love the amount of dive comps we're getting today. Like, again, full on from 100 Thieves. You know where they're going to commit. Seeing Marble after he got 2v2 solo kills in the last series in lane. Also exciting seeing on something like Ezreal with the playmaking available.
So 100 Thieves not convinced that this Aurora is going into the mid lane with the LeBlanc ban. Trying to set up at least an easier time for Quid in that mid lane. I'm curious if we end up with something like a Lilia ban here coming through for by HAWKS for 100 Thieves, because it's still something that can do well in the jungle. But also, you kind of need a little bit more of that AP damage. Yes, Tomo can go towards it. Like, you get the Krakens, the Gwynsus, and then you can go in towards your AP build. But it's so late down the line, I don't think it's able to facilitate a huge amount of what you need. So you need something. And especially with Jax ban, a lot of these hybrids gone in the top side, I think you're less likely to have that. Oh, sorry, and the Renekton picked up as well. You're just not really having the option to facilitate that elsewhere in your draft.
So questions like Brand, questions like the Zyra we talked about before, if they see it as relevant. Those AP junglers, the Sejuani already gone in case areas are pairing through mid jungle, as mentioned before. Especially, I mean, with Renekton Yone, Sejuani felt like a must go, as there are still AP jungle options available, Dagger, as per your point, but engage tools taken off the board, with the Nautilus also away from Eyla.
Actually, Maokai could work out really well. Gives you the option to try and play for that engage tool, but also just the ability to lock down a lot of these carries without needing to rely on a dash.
True.
Because if you're going Leona, well, actually Leona would be a great pick, honestly, for 100 Thieves, but, you know, just something that can lock down without committal dashing is going to be perfect. So
hang on.
It is going to be the Leona.
Let me just look. No script on his hand.
But yeah, I think you've got options here as 100 Thieves. And for HAWKS, do you try and take away the Maokai, preempting this? Forest playing Maokai would just be very fitting from a namesake, but We'll have to see.
You're not hiding a script, are you?
No.
Okay, just check. I just had to check just then. I was a bit worried. We'll see. Again, you raise that Maokai. It's very fitting, but again, not going to see it just yet. At the very least, Akali locked in for Dasher. Right? Ebby, in the past, has played Akali top, right? So I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing it out there as a question.
As far as I know, doesn't do great into Renekton. Now, I'm not going to pretend I'm a savant in the Akali Renekton matchup, but I imagine it is just going mid. But my thought would be, you can still like hit with Q3, with your general Qs from Yone and the ultimate as well. So maybe it's not the best matchup, but something that Dasher feels very comfortable into. Now the question is, what does River want to take on the opposite side?
Set up. Jarvan's available. But I know you want AP. I know you were saying like Maokai's there, right?
Yeah, it's not massively necessary now that you don't have a mega tank on HAWKS side, but I think it would be nice to have something like the Maokai. But yeah, okay, they're just going to go for the damage.
You were hiding the script. I knew it. I mean, AP jungler. There you go. You called it a couple of picks ago. So I mean, we do get the fill in, right, with the Kai'Sa as well. So there is sufficient damage. There's setup. There's go buttons for 100 Thieves. There's a lot of priority on these lanes. I think you'll agree, Dagda, where we kind of want to see them get off to a bit of a flying start, not let this Akali, this Aurora take over the face.
It does feel like the people are counting their paces to turn around in the duel.
Yep.
Like whoever pulls the trigger first is probably going to win out in these, because if your Akali, your Wukong, and your Aurora all go in at the same time, they will blow up a brand, a Kai'Sa. They don't really have an opportunity to try and escape because of that short range.
Yep.
Whereas on the opposite side, if it's 100 Thieves who get off to these early leads and they're the one engaging, again, it's just like pure shotgun. It's spray, hit everyone, and just decimate them. So I think this is very much going to come down to who can control the early game, who can control those early lanes. And I think that's why for a lot of this, it's the fact that you see, push coming through on the top side. I imagine Yone will be able to get control over this mid lane against Akali, at least post level 3. That's where I think you'll be able to find some successes for 100 Thieves.
You'd have to hope that 100 Thieves can pull it together. For the NA fans out there who were obviously upset at the Rainbow 7 loss, it's crazy to think that one best of 3 determines history here. North America's 3rd seed has never, ever been knocked out in the play-in stage. And remember, they always had a 3rd seed that actually ended up doing quite well. Cloud9 historically was a favored 3rd seed. People were like, man, this team is so good at breaking expectations. 100 Thieves took out Cloud9, ran in their place, and now they've got to show that they are much better than the Softbank HAWKS. Otherwise, this would be another major upset. I feel like we've already had minor upsets, right? Only last series, CBLOL beating the 2nd BCS seed is big. Rainbow 7, of course, beating 100 Thieves, massive. But can the Softbank HAWKS do something for the PCS region here when they too beat Frank Esports, another favorite, another firm favorite here? A lot of people thought they were going to be the representatives. But for the LJL, this is also big for the individual region. As Dasher electrocuted in the lane, Dagda, we've got Grasp here for the Yone, considering that we are kind of medium range.
But it is funny how history kind of tends to repeat itself in League of Legends, right? You have River, who started off playing in Challengers in Korea against Dasher. Like they were on 1-1 T1, 1 on Gen G, and and now you start to see River then move on to the PCS, and now going up against the PCS 2nd seed with the opportunity to potentially knock them out. So often we see multiple of these players go up against each other, but now it's a case of how well can you feel them out in these early stages, because again, the threat in these fights cannot be overstated. If you get an early lead, it just feels so easy to run that through.
As you said, whoever pulls the trigger first. I love the little history again. T1 Gen G challengers, like, very, very big organizations now that also even in their challenger teams go on to do great things. A lot of Poby fans I know out there that'll agree and say the same thing, but for Dasher as well, a lot to be done. Now for SHG, we look at their bot side as Vsta forces out Tomo, but as Zenith's Blade connects and second skin works, so Tomo just gets a nice little trade in the end, but it is the HAWKS in this bot side, in this 2v2, that will have level 2 first. Yeah,
just the push still, as Marble was more focused on the lane, but still a nice trade onto Vsta, forced to burn an early pot. Does give you an opportunity to try and play a little bit more aggressive, especially when it comes to bush control in this matchup. Ooh. If you are able to play for the Q hit as Eyla, it makes things a little bit easier if Vsta's low health, but pop burnt means that it's just going to be a bit of a wait until they can really start to fight head-to-head again.
Now Quid again just going to get some trade. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, by the way, you can log into your Riot Games account on lolesports.com and watch Worlds Live to earn exclusive Worlds emotes, icons, and capsules. Just a quick tidbit before we go into this next series and full pace, as we're expecting a lot of action, especially at the level 6 point. So go get your free business before we reach 5-6 minutes in the game.
I did just get a ping.
Yes.
Say that I actually messed up the history. It's Quid and Forest who played in Challengers. Yeah, I'm just a big...
That's okay. Dagged it. Look, I remember you telling me before, and I was like, you know, I have the memory of a goldfish, so I could never help you anyway. That's okay. So, Quid, Forest, previously LCK Challengers. And yeah, the matchup, it's great to see again on much bigger stage, much bigger stakes as well. As the push is in here for Marvel and Vsta, but they saw the scrying orb. Marvel's going to get away. Second skin about to proc here, thanks to Tomo getting that killer instinct, or rather, excuse me, Void Seeker landing. So SHG just back away, knowing jungle is bot.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be too much in the way of pressure coming through from from HAWKS Gaming in these early stages. Like, Dasher just kind of wants time to hit that level 6 before he really becomes a major threat. Same when you look at Forest. So I think it will be more the second rotation of Void Grubs where we really see HAWKS trying to contest for things. But the criticism I've had of HAWKS is that lack of decisiveness, where they kind of second guess themselves before they really want to go for an engage, unless they are ahead and they have like a good TP ward. So I think when you're coming into this, that could be the struggle for HAWKS, because again, I think the fights are really going to be where this is decided. The team fights are really going to be where this is decided.
Because again, we know a lot of the engage tools, a lot of the go button tools, whether they're flanks or whether they're set up, a lot of it is either snap engage or reliable engage, right? And you know, Poppy, it's not what you call reliable engage. You need a wall. And that's always annoying. You need something in the way so that Poppy can, or a flash available as well. You've got to commit a lot.
But I think that's why Aurora has started to creep up in the meta so heavily, right? That ult is such a strong engage tool, even though you think it's like, oh, well, it doesn't really lock you down, but holding you to an area, really does, especially when you're a short-range AD carry, something like Kai'Sa, is terrifying. And that's why River may be putting some pressure on towards the top lane toward Ebby, but I think with the couple of hits Sniper has taken there, we're looking just for the reset for the Croc on the top side.
Because only Blinks can get out of it. Things like Ezreal could get out of it, but that's on your team.
Or a flash, and that's not something you really want to burn.
That's right, it's a big commitment. That's why the Aurora ulti, I mean, we've said zone control. We've talked about it a lot here at World so far. Also does good damage. It also creates mobility and escape tool as well for the Aurora outside of a W. Outside of the bunny hop. So we're getting close to that level 6. Now, Dagger, we already talked about it. Level 6, a lot of go buttons, skirmishes, what we're looking at, who goes first. Vista's now moving towards mid, and Grubs are also spawning in 35 seconds. Does feel like for the Hawks, they're thinking about an angle about how they can start and approach this one nice and early.
Yeah, I don't think we're actually going to get much in the way of rotations for things here.
Okay.
Yes, Eyla is covering mid with Quid, but look at on the map, Sniper has already gone back towards top side. You're also looking at Tomo moving back down to the bottom side. So 100 Thieves at the moment want to try and keep things nice and simple. Potential for HAWKS to try and move around, but I don't think the AD carries will be getting involved in this one too early.
No, they're sticking, they're committing, they're going towards bot side. Ayla's again still hovering over mid. Dash has just hit level 6, then played Connect. Shuriken Flip is there. Quid does find a knock up, but not full commitment yet. Now Forest, he's walked up. He's going to start the Grubs on spawn here, while Dash takes a half HP trade, and even though he doesn't have his TP, he's got lettuce in the river. He'll pick that up and be completely fine.
Bit of miscommunication looked like there. Eyla investing the Ignite. Quid not willing to follow up with the ultimate to try and kill Dasher, but still, just going to be dragging for Void Grub trade. And I think this is fine as 100 Thieves. Like, you can also just play for big fights later on when you're when you have control, but the Dragons, again, kind of help you in solidifying those team fights later. As Sniper, going to spot a Debbie, but yeah, just taking this nice and simple, not trying to run away with the game early or cause any issues.
Because we know, again, it'll ramp up. That's the thing about these comps. You look at it and you're like, this game will ramp up at some point. So we chill now while it's available. We watch the trade, we wait for the next one. It's funny, again, that we bring up the global power rankings powered by AWS. 100 Thieves at number 35 now. I'm sure after the Rainbow 7 series, that definitely changed a bit. I don't know where it was before, but I know it definitely changed quite a bit. And it's cool, these objective power rankings are quite interesting to me because, you know, it just takes all the stats in. It's like a massive stats leaderboard that just goes, objectively, here's where they sit with all their qualifications throughout the year.
Yeah, still a lot of context needs to be given to them.
Yeah.
But I still think it is very cool to just try and match these up in an MMR system. But, I don't think, the thing is, like, it's so dependent on how the different regions interact. There's so much data that has to go into it, it's kind of tough, but I think it is still very nice to have. It's
the little things in life, isn't it? You know, they just add little bits. as this early game's slow, and after coming from the last game as well, and there's just been so much energy from not only CBLOL fans, but you know, from Pain Gaming through the games that they were playing and how well they were playing the early games. It's a very different pace, and that's the other thing about play-ins as well. We've had very different dynamics in our play-ins this year, I think more so than normal. Very different style of teams where people are still trying to work out the meta. You and I were talking about this. The meta's still being defined, and play-ins is always very different to the main stage at Worlds, where other teams will come in and be like, oh my god, wait, why is Renekton perma-banned now?
Yeah, well, I think it's also a case of how much you can operate on these small differences, right?
Yep.
Like, you start to see Brand come back in, and teams are like, no, Brand is fine, but when you are facing against a lot of the teams at the main event, it's how they can find that window that is 3 seconds to punish you on a top wave, right?
True.
And it's those little things start to mean more and more. Whereas for these teams, it's much about, I think, trying to find his comfort for yourself as well.
True.
And making sure you're okay. And I think for Sniper as well, he's kind of talked about how he wanted to go back towards his Renekton in the interview that Laura referenced earlier on from Sheep Esports, that he wanted something that was just his style, so he could feel more comfortable. Quid had a fantastic performance on the Yone.
Good denial. Solar Flare, flash away. Sorry to interrupt, Dagda. We get a stun down, and Vsta knows he just has to go in. But at first blood over to Tomo. It's a good punish and good setup in the end from Eyla.
Nicely done, having River coming down to set that one up. River has to be careful, though, as there is a Wukong in River. Should be able to spot him out.
In River.
Lucky for him.
Okay, well, is he going to be caught out? No, Forest actually takes it, gets Cyclone from that as well. He's a level up now as well, and the damage onto River is going to follow through. As soon as the Cyclone just ticks away, a solo kill between junglers. Forest is better than River.
No, ults for River means that you just have no follow-up there, and it's a complete decimation from Forest. Nicely done, and traditionally you'd be like, oh, well, Wukong gets the armor from the passive, so River should win, but just didn't have the cooldowns he needed.
Now, Dagdo, as we go through this series, we have a rare opportunity with River versus Forest. We have never had landscapes battle each other on a world stage before, as far as I'm concerned.
Or a TikTok quiz to tell you what your favorite color is or something, or
That's
how
right.
peaceful you are,
So I'll be keeping track for now. Forest is better than River, but as soon as River gets a kill back, then River will be better than Forest.
Yeah, they just need like the moon to be in the right position to get a tide that comes in their favor, and then you know.
So it's about that, because River's based on the moon tide, but what about the Forest? Does it grow with moon?
That's done.
So where's the sun? We obviously need more powers in play between the junglers, but you know, a kill for kill in the end. The Wukong gets some blood. He also gets to get Sundered Sky as one of the first items in the game, but likewise Tomo gets the Mosquito start here with the static ship, as they move on up here. Grubs are spawning yet again. The Hawks got the first 3, but with Brand, it feels like this might just be a handshake deal.
Yeah, and this is kind of where I was saying that I think the trade for 100 Thieves is actually worthwhile. There's no need to try and hard contest for the first ones, just go for the second. They have good control. They've moved around the map well already, using that push from the static shave on bot and making things just that little bit simpler for themselves. And now, shout out Tomo, able to move into this top side, pick up the wave, and continue to put that pressure down. The Hawks have opened up with Ezreal in the mid lane, which I think is okay for the moment.
Yep.
But the reset on Vsta has me a little bit concerned, because until Vsta gets to that top side, you can't really contest the wave, and this might give another place over to the Kai'Sa, whereas I don't really see Dasher being able to threaten the place take on the bottom side.
You just saw that before. Highlights coming through of River, because naturally, it does feel like River again is the way this team works. I mean, it's just a fact, really, at this point. Even in the series we talked about a little bit earlier, where we had some downtime, Dagda. That series of Rainbow 7, it felt like River was trying to do everything to set up 100 Thieves for success alongside Sniper. But unfortunately couldn't do too much. Sniper looks for the all-in. Forest is coming down. But the Renekton has dominance and flash available. It feels pretty impossible right now without Akali having a first item to take this 1v1 or 1v2. Dragon spawned. Forest yoinks it. And River just walks away for the time being. Now SHG, they've got their the AD carry mid, But you can see Quid is top here with TP.
Aurora starting to move down though, and the TP coming through from Dasher. Storm Surge just completed for him. Such a big pickup before this fight, so Hawks definitely want to try and contest this, and 100 Thieves aren't in position. Yeah, I like the pings. You can see immediately from Quid, he's like, I want nothing to do with this, lads. I just want this tower. Like, we can just play for gold. That's all we want.
You got 3 grubs of Yone. You take this turret down, and Yone's second attack has magic damage in it as well, so does really good work on turrets with a bit of buff from the 3 grubs. 2 plates in the end, I believe, taken away. They get Dragon, and remember, 100 Thieves got the first one here, so It only delays the soul a little bit, while more gold goes into Quid in the side lane.
Yeah, but the gold was starting, as we started off the game, in favor of HAWKS. They had a CS lead mid, CS lead top, but now you've got Tomo, who was able to pick up the kill, and some nice map movement has given him the CS lead, and now Quid also starting to get that control thanks to the plates as well. So 100 Thieves, again, just kind of playing out the map better. And I think that's where we saw HAWKS really starting to struggle in their game as well. It just felt like they weren't really able to keep pace in their last series, and it cost them when it came to getting towards those fights, finding the opportunities to play through. In game one, their wombo combo, but also again, we're kind of coming back to these moments where HAWKS are trying to operate in a different style to what we saw domestically. Like this is, sure you've got some, I'll say, combos for your team fight, but it's not like a hit the OR button all together and we win type of style.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it? We knew that coming into this tournament, we knew that Worlds was going to be about them. These magic team fights, these great moments where Evie can step up, and whether it's things like the cannon, even the Aurora here, right? We see moments of brilliance from him in the past. Now it can be up, it can be down, but Evie's about to show us what it looks like as 3 members of 100 Thieves stop here. The fate sealed, the solar flare. He can't move. Stuck in place. River takes the kill as Dash is trying to move up and help him out, but now he's TP'd on 2. He has to shuriken flip out of there, and yes, he buys space, but 100 Thieves are looking for more. As Zenith played onto Forest, he walked into trouble. He gets blazed up with a pyroclasm that burns him down for days as he flashes away. Forest now can't re-engage 100 Thieves. They're taking everything in this top side while Herald is looking at them in the eye.
Yeah, still, you got nothing to try and contest as HAWKS. Dasher tried to go underneath the tower with that ultimate, but just couldn't quite find the kill. You got River and Quid who were able to flash on out of there, but a huge amount invested. I think they're just going to wait for the TP from Quid to come back in here before 100 Thieves try and contest. They need to get on towards mid-wave as well. So HAWKS trying to just gate them off of entering into mid lane.
They're not going to start it at the very least. Now, Forest still has his ulti available, but no flash. Dasher used his in the previous fight, and we've still got the steadfast presence, rather, Keeper's verdict, as the Mastercard laning economy snapshot shows us the strength of Quid and Tomo here in this early game. As they clear it out, Herald's still just standing there, while Forest, he's on a ward in the back, but they know he started the objective off.
Yeah, again, though, look at the map. Sniper on towards the objective, or the top lane first, so yes, you will get this Rift Tower, but a tower for Sniper. You can also cross map here, which I'd love to see Eyla moving down towards that top or bottom side. Looks like he's just kind of competing on his own here. 100 Thieves maybe with the late contest, knowing the Forest can't really take this quickly.
Eyla's Solar Flare being back up gives him a bit of confidence. Sniper Dominus almost there as well, and he held onto his flash, so teleports in, and 100 Thieves go for round number 2. Teleport's committed on the other side as well. Dasher runs on in. Eyla has to flash away, but Sniper still without his ulti. He has to run on out as Evie zone controls into death, and with Forest taking the kill with Dasher running in as well, it's not looking good. In the end, Quid can't clean that up, and River got caught against the wall. 100 Thieves didn't have the cooldown, but they still tried to force it.
100 Thieves didn't have the summoner spells they needed to play that aggressively into the position of Rift Child, and now Tomo on his own. 4 members. I don't think they have the CC to try and lock him up at the moment. Just going to try and poke him down.
Ulti, he runs in, almost tight for his troubles. Vsta happy to absorb with Aftershock available. But the HAWKS just picked up, or at least picked up a few kills, added some gold back in their pockets, and now Forest in a very good position, also with Marvel 2. Dagda, show me this replay and tell me what I should absorb.
But they could have gone for a play on bot side, but instead they tried to hard force into a position where Sniper isn't really contesting onto big threats. Vsta able to keep him grounded as well thanks to the steadfast presence, and they're already on the run. Like, it's too late by the time Quid comes in here. The pyroclasm isn't there, the damage isn't there, and it's just so messy on how they try and enter into this. I honestly thought they'd just shove mid, rotate bot, and look for a dive onto Aurora again. We just saw how vulnerable Ebby is in his side lane, but they don't go for the play, and it cost them.
Now, to correct myself a little bit, I did say it was 2-0, but of course 100 Thieves did pick up a kill on the side thanks to Quid's setup, and Tomo was the one to get it. So you can see the teamfight damage in that last play. In teamfight damage overall, Tomo's doing a lot here with almost 2 items up.
Yeah, the Rift Shroud never got taken though, so it still could be down for another tussle as Eyla tries to move in. He was not spotted, so actually nice little bit of movement here by Eyla. If he can get in behind, trying to avoid being spotted by Vsta here. Hex
Flash almost available too. The great thing about Leona with Hex Flash is getting over some of those walls and the gap closure you have. Dagda, I think it was you who's telling me in LEC splits this year, like the great thing about Leona is the long range engage that she offers to comps as well. That's the one thing that is ease of execution. Leona can be anywhere. And her gap close is nuts. Her solar flare range is nuts.
Yeah, it's the non-committal factor that really makes it shine for me, because it's the fact that Poppy can't really stop it. If you ult with Leona and it hits, you still get that CC and everyone else can just move on in, just walk on in to follow up on it. So it makes it very difficult for HAWKS to try and play around it. Now, I still think with the amount of CC you have from Forest and also then from Vsta on the follow-up, it can be a little tough, but it's still just nice to be able to fish for some of these picks without having to overcommit into the play.
Tomo, as he pushes out this wave, get ready for the next dragon. It's just spawned, and you can see that 100 Thieves are looking for a pick that leads them into either side of the objective. We talked about non-committal engage. HEXBlush also helps out. Vsta tried to get a wall shove, but he finds nothing. Eyla now in the middle. He solar flares. He centers blades. Tomo realigns his angle, but Evie controls the zone. Eyla went in a bit too early, but it doesn't cost him because Sniper came to party. In the middle goes Quid. He doesn't lock down anyone with that ulti, and Sniper takes some tags on the way out. But now, Jungler's down, Forest is dead, and 100 Thieves can go around to that dragon and take it.
The real winner of all these fights is Ripchild getting to keep his life. Yeah. Quid started it, doesn't get to finish it. Dragon might not be so lucky though, because you've got nothing left for 100 Thieves. Low mana on Tomo as well. Tomo on the wrong side of the fight. This is a 3v4.
Yeah. Are they going to do this again, Dagda? We saw it mid when they don't have the cooldown. The 100 Thieves still willing to fight, but SHG, it was only the Aurora, only the Cyclone in the end. Poppy ult also down, the perfect execution. Thank you very much, Dagda. You've shown me that Dasher still has the all-in. But the Hawks don't want to commit. They leave Dragon, goes over to 100 Thieves.
They're, again, like not really wanting to take the fight. Can work out for HAWKS here. The fact that they have to get mid-tower now.
Oh, he dropped on the back. River's alone, but he's got Quid now joining him in. But Dasher is hit pretty much everything, forces the flash until Quid's there to save the day, and he jumps on him. River gets out with his flash. It was a ruse in the end, and thank God for Quid, otherwise that brand was in trouble.
But still, flash gone. And the fact that you don't end up getting that quick reset to try and move back out of the map is going to hurt them. Ebby, though, spotted by Eyla, but I don't think he's going to go down on anything. But this is the point. The little mistakes from 100 Thieves getting punished here.
You know, Ayla's here. Evie has to be careful as Quid just backs away. A full minion wave to go, but wave clear is part of Aurora's kit as Eyla steps up to this. Forest is in here. Cyclone is back up and available in 5 seconds. Sniper comes out of the bush and Evie just buys some space, but he gets stunned up. Renekton's power shown in proof as Cyclone now back up. Eyla about to burn down. Cyclone's enough to get the kill. Dasher teleports in, and the action's only just started. A Shuriken flip connecting, and a steadfast presence shown that Vsta can hold them off. TP in the back as well, and we fight again. It's getting messier and messier, and I love it as Vsta finds one on Sniper, and Tomo and Quid have to run. SHG have the numbers. They've got the true shot barrage. Quid wants to go in, but he has to quickly back on out. That's a pick, that's a win, and Dagda, we're starting to scrap a bit more.
100 Thieves are trying to force way too heavily on this bottom side. Well, he'll be able to get out, but Quid may not.
Quid being cheeky with it yet again, but Forest doesn't have that Cyclone. We just saw it used. So, he looks to defend bot instead, but with 3 grubs, they also have enough power to open up this side lane.
So Quid just trying to clear out whatever camps are on this bottom side, because when you look top, River is clearing out the other side. But when you look at straight goals, this is a massive win for HAWKS, the over push on bottom side. When River had moved to the top side of the map, Ezreal, Marble had push in mid lane. They were able to collapse so easily. But 100 Thieves, they keep trying to hard force plays when they just don't need to.
You see the win probability, it's up and down a little bit again. Now in the early game, it's natural. But we're 21 minutes in, and while Quid's going to get this turret here, gold is fluctuating a little bit. The only thing 100 Thieves right now have firmly in their control is the dragon stacking, which in 2 minutes 30, we get a greater answer as to if that continues.
I think the saving grace for 100 Thieves is that their side lanes are winning.
Yep.
Sniper having this sorry, not the Sterix grade, the Stride Breaker makes it a little bit easier for him to try and chase down some of these members. Quid also very far ahead, 1.2k gold lead over Dasher. But when you add in a Wukong, makes it a little bit more difficult to try and control these. So for 100 Thieves, they need to try and win out in the macro game, but that was kind of their big weakness in the LCS, was that they just wouldn't be as clean, say, as Cloud9, the team that they beat to get here. So for HAWKS, if they can try and play into that weakness, they can certainly try to bring this game back from the brink.
I mean, Dasher, again, not in the worst position. You talk about side lanes winning, and yes, he's 800 gold down, but there's Akali heading towards 2 items, and we know there's a good scaling element there. We know Akali's damage becomes unbearable, and you even said it in the draft. I know there's not super tanky elements on the side of SHG. I know for 100 Thieves they've got the Leona, but Oh, the Yone, the Kai'Sa, even the Brand jungle, the ability to be popped in this game is something I'm excited to watch to see if Dasher can pull off, considering that he's the highlight here of this roster, despite the name value of Ebby. We look at Dasher mid and we're like, bro, it took him 7 years to get to this spot, but he is a carry that can control the game and absolutely pop off for this team.
You can see though Ebby's trying to support the play on the mid lane. Good wards from 100 Thieves to spot out essentially what is the overload on mid coming through from HAWKS, but gives time now for 100 Thieves to try and fight back. Everyone, apart from Dasher, has moved up towards this top half of the map, but he's aware. He's not giving enough space for 100 Thieves to try and find the pick.
Plus that control ward there as well. He does push out. If 100 Thieves start moving in, he's going to get information real quick. Quid moves away after pushing the wave and maybe looks for an angle on mid, but they're being mega patient here while waves are just being handled and Forest is just clearing the top side.
Dragon in 50 seconds, so HAWKS kind of aware that they don't need to approach into this. They can just play off of wave states instead, so they start to group up on mid, give Marble the pressure that he needs. They spot out 100 Thieves now, but Aurora is starting to move down. Ebby wants to become a part of this.
Forest will have another smite shortly, so he had 2 charged in his back pocket, which enables him for either the potential Baron sneak or the Dragon that we're alluding to before. 100 Thieves in the river first, and Quid is just moving through enemy jungle. He's still MIA.
Yeah, still, look at the items across the board though as we get here. 2 items pretty much everywhere apart from on Ebby. Does have that Seeker's arm guard, but that could be clutch for him to get in position to set up with the ultimate, but he's going to be lacking quite a bit of damage just because he doesn't have the need to see large Raj component. So it looks like he's going to try and sneak into position. You can see him just at the top of your screen trying to get onto this Kai'Sa.
Forest got damaged a little bit there as well. I think it was Brand damage from River that caught him and catches him again. Forest health bar. Wait, that's very impactful for the Dragon. I think 100 Thieves may have slowly just secured this.
And also the push on bot side for Quid. He was able to teeter in towards this jungle area as well. So 100 Thieves, slow and steady. They bring it back. Nicely done by the NA representative.
They're on soul point. Mountain soul just like that, which when you're running Akali is going to give you so much more leeway as well, Dagda. Yeah, as you said, slow and steady. It's a nice touch because for 100 Thieves, they're not over-forcing, they're not over-committing. They're slowly playing this out with the side lanes that you said are still running the Rift.
And I think it's a big step back from what we saw earlier in this game where they were trying to hard force, hard commit. It's lads, we can play this, we can win this, just take it at our own pace, and they're doing exactly that. And HAWKS kind of need to now be that bit more decisive to try and take down 100 Thieves here. I want to see Forest linking up with Dasher to see if he can get a play on towards the side lane, because otherwise Quid just gets to do that.
Yeah, Quid's at 2 items strong, as you mentioned before, and Stride Breaker 2 on top of this Akali. Hard to get out without committing something like the Shuriken flip. But again, this Yone, I mean, Quid is having a great performance so far. 4 out of 5 kill participation and well on his way to his 3rd item as he makes his next back as well. And he keeps stealing bottom side jungle. He's just taking the red buff by himself willy-nilly. And people are scared to walk in. I mean, how do you deal with him? A lot of people, I guess.
So is the answer, just more people.
More people.
You know?
Send more down. 100 Thieves just dabbing on the ward that they probably know is there. Control wards are zoning off, and SHG clear that away while they try and cheek around Baron. But again, 100 Thieves aren't falling for the bait.
No, they're just going to take it easy, and I think it is the right call. The level 16 about to be hit for Quid. That's their level advantage that he's pretty consistently kept over Dasher for the main part of this mid game. And Sniper is doing fine as well. So I think you just try and play out for push on mid into... And sorry, even for like the Kai'Sa, if you get a potential to run down Marble, you can do so with the items that you have right now. And Marble may learn all about it in a second as Quid is just waiting over the wall. Eyla doesn't go for the solar flare just yet though.
Trying to get something else out on a ward, of course, is going to be too premeditated as Vsta just sees them rotate to left side jungle. Underneath turret, Quid gets some damage down. Forest gets chunked, and that's a 3-item Kai'Sa too. And now that the W's connect, 3-second reset. 3-second reset. Tomo gets to start poking out, and maybe it's enough to start Baron.
Yeah, because look at Dasher on the bottom side. He'll have to commit his TP, so I think 100 Thieves, once they see that committed, should back away from this. This is still a fairly risky one, even if
Forest backed. Forest backed, and again, the jungler getting poked out by 100 Thieves is rough for them. As 100 Thieves look for the pick on, they've already gotten the Baron. They look for Evie after the thought. They just need to get out now as True Shot Barrage is there, but Evie's ulti locks them in play. Running in, Sniper re-engages and takes Evie out. The top laner dead from the HAWKS as the Cyclone re-engages, but Forest is getting chunked down, poked to hell. Japanese representatives have been clawed in. Dasher tries to get a pick. Eyla still stands for the time being. Tomo finds another one. And even though Dasher tries to outplay, River flashes again and looks him dead in the eye.
HAWKS thought they might have been able to buy the time that they needed. I was watching Ebby for that big Aurora ult that would hold everyone in place, buy time for Forest to get there, especially with the poke that can come through from Marble and also then from Ebby. But the way 100 Thieves played that fight was excellent. Sniper entering into the pit, buying space for people, then resets coming through from Quid with the TP back in. The ebb and flow in that fight was great from 100 Thieves, and you get to see it. Like, Ebby could have thrown down this ult, committed to Quid and Eyla, but he doesn't end up going for it. Going golden here, and this is where I thought we get the re-engage, but watch how much space Sniper buys. This is disaster for 100 Thieves, but Sniper going in, putting his body on the line, draws all that attention from HAWKS. He barely escapes in the back line, and then Quid gone for the reset into a TP onto the top side, means that he gets the reset into the fight. Eyla doesn't even fall off the back of this, and then Dasher tries desperately to get on River, but the flash away keeps him alive. And somehow 100 Thieves all stay standing.
Man, the punishment of this HAWKS jungler has been real this game, Dagda. Like, health bars matter so much, and you can see 100 Thieves really good at punishing it. They started with Dragon, they do it over Baron, they even turn the fight. As you said, Sniper buying space once again, having a very decent performance as I see a flank, and I see the HAWKS wanting to get something back. It's on to Quid, but he fate sealed out of there. Instead, he walks back into Evie, and Quid's now locked in play, but he's got the damage. Evie almost dies, but he has to run out as far as Cyclone's in a choke. It's a shutdown, but Dasher's burning himself, and Dasher doesn't want to go back in. He needs to run too. Tomo almost snipes him down as Forest is on the wrong space, and I think Sniper's just like, all right, I'll run Baron down mid.
Sniper is happy out. He's like, I'll continue with this push. They get the 1-for-1 trade on the play thanks to that Seeker's arm guard for Tomo. I don't think they spotted it on HAWKS before they came out of the base, and now Sniper running for the hills because he's buying time for the soul.
It's just been 100 Thieves slow and steady winning the race. Like the Red Bull Baron power play, it's 7,000 gold. What?
That's a game-ending number that they have just picked up off of that buff. Like, that is insane.
I only just noticed it because, honestly, the HAWKS, like, we've seen some attempt to try and punish 100 Thieves. At least there's been proactivity in this game, but it's been real rough to watch in the past 10 minutes as we look again at the replay. Them trying to get the miracle flank.
Yeah, I mean, good call from Quid to get over the wall here. Then turns immediately on towards Ebby, hoping they can kill him to unlock themselves from this hellscape.
Bubble's not there.
Tomo goes golden, he gets away. You don't really have the follow-up. Dasher can't threaten on towards the backline. Tomo playing very safe until he sees that gone. Tries for the snipe, but I think that minion actually got away with the Void Missile. But nicely done by 100 Thieves on the chase down after. And Sniper on that mid-wave the whole time. So it just opens up pressure again on the map. And this time around, you're starting to get those TPs coming through for 100 Thieves. A little bit far away, but once that's available, Sniper becomes way more of a threat to join the team at any point in time.
I mean, against Rainbow 7, there were certain leads from 100 Thieves, but they weren't as egregious as this, right? This is almost a 9k gold lead at 30 minutes.
And the thing is as well, when you have this push on top, there's always the opportunity for the Yone to seek in behind here and threaten on the dive as well. So HAWKS go first.
He's out with the between worlds again, but he's just destroyed. Tomo just stands and delivers. Dasher tries to get backline, but Tomo does it again. A good performance on this Kai'Sa is understated as Quid runs in. He just need to hit all the ult. He's still diving. He's taking turret shots now. Transition to Sniper. But 100 Thieves, this game to them looked patient, calm, and well orchestrated.
This is the game we expected from 100 Thieves coming into Worlds. Slow, steady, confident, and you can see the smiles on their faces. The win they needed to get this ball rolling at Worlds 2024.
One more to try and lock in a date with Destiny. Now on match point. In this best of 3, I mean, 100 Thieves, I was even questioning, well, what are they going to look like on the day? But that is a much better result than what we saw against R7.
Significantly better result, and well earned, because this is not an easy side of the bracket anymore. No. HAWKS into PSG Talon, it is going to be a rough one, but we'll have to see if they can bring it back for game number 2 as we toss it over to a quick break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
And if you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good, good, good. I just feel so good, good. I just feel so good.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you. Gamers, hybrid workers, artists. Backing your every move.